Alright, this is that Necchi 525FA, and it has under the handle a pair of screws that I believe are what keeps the top on, because I don't see any other screws on the back of the machine to hold the cover on here. So, one big screw, two big screws, and there we go. There's the cover, metal bracket that the screw holds down, and that's how the handle is on there too. So, we'll give this a good wipe because this top cover is real filthy. All of the parts for this machine have been in the degreaser and gone through the sonic cleaner, and we can see they're a lot cleaner. So we'll get this out of the greaser and give it a rinse, but all of this presser foot was incredibly brown, and it's really cleaned up, so we'll be, like I said, getting that out and wiping those off. But for now, take a moment to oil the entire top of this machine. So there's a bearing here, and that, the top part of the crank here, and the bobbin winder made that horrible noise, so we'll just get that out. Bobbin winder is slightly shorter screws than the lid was. And yeah, you can see the tire on this is rock hard, and it has a flat on it, and also the winder shaft isn't turning, so we'll have to soak that and get it to start moving in order to, and then we'll have to put a new tire on there, because this one is, it's not too bad. It's got a flat spot on it. Maybe once we get this moving, that tire will be okay, but for now we gotta focus on getting this to turn. So I'm gonna put a little bit of penetrating oil on this and get that soaking so that it will hopefully be able to rotate. I don't want to just crank on it with a pair of pliers, because that can mar it up real bad, and obviously the plastic side here, you can't hold on that. But there we go, I just gave it a little bit of work. I dripped some sewing machine oil into it, and a little bit started to work that free. Still gonna soak that in penetrating oil to get down in there and get that crud out of there, and then we'll wash it out with sewing machine oil. With that out of the way, there's a felt washer here to help hold oil against this big bearing here. So that's interesting. And that felt washer is real dry, so we're gonna flood that with oil, because that should be damp with oil to help. I mean, not wet, but definitely it should be visibly damp to help hold oil in there. Now, this is our stitch length knob, so we're going to rotate that. Make sure that everywhere that it moves is lubricated. And then the reverse lever, push that and make sure that we get every part of that that moves. And this is our stitch selector. And then these shafts just go and they stick out the back of the machine, so they're just riding in the machine body. This cam stack has a bracket on the front of it right where my needle is, but it's still mounted in the machine body. And then this shaft, of course, sticks out for the knob that rides on it. There. Okay. I'm gonna find my grease and dab some grease on those gears, because that grease looks like it's a bit worn. But this machine feels pretty good otherwise. So we'll just get some grease on it, and I think we'll probably be ready to test it now that we've gotten in there and gotten it oiled up a bit. So I will want to tip it back and get a look on the underneath, and probably take and then we'll have to let it sit a bit. I'll leave the top off while I'm dealing with the bobbin winder here, because this is real stiff and just needs to soak a bit. Alright, so there we go. 10 minutes in the penetrating oil, and now this is all loose, so I'm gonna pop then I wipe all the penetrating oil off and rinse that off real good. That tire seems soft, so I'm going to pop that back on, and we'll reinstall the bobbin winder in the Necchi here. And I'll plug it in and make sure that the bobbin winder is turning, and while it's turning, we will put a drop of sewing machine oil in it and run it so that that works its way down into. So we'll get the lock. And our cord. And I don't remember if I mentioned, but this Necchi didn't have a pedal with it when I got it, so I did have to buy a pedal. Okay. There we go. Clutch is out. Somebody's been in here and the spring must be the wrong way around. I also apparently need to take the the hand wheel nut off. So, because I have the clutch out, so it shouldn't be turning the rest of the machine while the bobbin winder goes. Alright. Now, yeah, the bobbin winder, somebody's been in here and the spring is the wrong way around, it seems, because the winder has some slop, the arm has slop in it, and I'll take this out. So this arm here has vertical slop in it, and the spring is not lifting on this the way it should. So I'm going to guess, take a look at this, but I think the spring should be folded the other way around. It does look like there's a screwdriver mark on this winder. Pivot. So, all right. Now, with this pivot out, then we can take a look at our spring, and maybe they got the spring the wrong upside down. because it's got two different shapes of hook on the spring. So we'll see if I can show that to the camera here. So this end is just a round spring, and this end has a square, so it's 290 degrees to make that hook instead of just a round hook. Yeah, I'm gonna bet that this spring was in there upside down, because now it's oh yeah, see, and now it's tucked in like this. That spring was in there backwards. So last person who had this apart got the spring put in backwards. So I'm gonna double check that yep, that's as snug as it goes. So if you've got a bobbin winder like this, or any bobbin winder that's supposed to be spring loaded to drive, and you're unsure and you're having issues with it, double check that you've got the spring in the right way around. Because now the spring is in here and it's all tense. And I'm gonna just, I'm gonna take the screw out for the there is all kinds of, there is grease all over this hand wheel. Somebody greased this hand wheel. No wonder the machine's... Alright, well, I'm gonna have to take this off, get the hand wheel out, and get the grease off this hand wheel, because the grease is what's keeping this machine from releasing the clutch like it should. The nice thing, unlike those Kenmores I just worked on, the end cover for this machine slips over the hand wheel. So it's got an idler pulley in it, but that at least is I also do not like the fact that this is not... I'm gonna take this bobbin winder apart and bend the arm for the bobbin winder up so that it clears this so it clears this counterweight too.